Let's get it on.
Okay, yeah, alright, I'm ready. History in the making. Take notes.
So this engine here, this is a 2-stroke engine. This is an old engine that come out that 5th scale car that showed you, the petrol one. This is a 2-stroke engine, but this engine is actually broken. As you can see there, it's got a big crack in it. There's one there that's trying to start it, wouldn't start, so after looking around I noticed there was a big crack in it. So at some point I'm going to rebuild this engine at some point and get a new head and rebuild it. So how this engine works is, that's the ignition coil right there. This thing here, that's the ignition coil. And what you got to do, this ignition coil moves up and down, and you got to set, there must be a gap the size of a business card in between the ignition coil and the magnet on this. So what you do, you tighten it up to set your gap. You must have that gap there. If the gap is too small, too big, the car won't start. And you see here, on there, that's a magnet on there. So what happens, the ignition coil plugs into the spark plug there, and this is the pull start cover. So the pull start bolt on there, and this switch here, that's the kill switch. So when you want to turn the engine off, you press that button there, and these two wires, one goes in there and the other wire goes in there into the ignition coil. So this pull start cover will be on the engine like that, and when you pull this, that thing there moves, and a little gear in there, a little cog that comes out. So as you pull that, it will grip this and it will spin it, and it will generate a spark through the ignition coil and start your engine through the spark plug right there. That's how these engines work. Another reason why, well, back to natural cars now, another reason why I dislike these natural cars is because, see this pull start here, these pull starts, they do break often, and because the engine is so small and this pull start is so small, when this cable breaks, you can't change it, you can't change the cable. It's a nightmare, it's a hassle, because it's so small, the parts in it are really tiny. So what you gotta do, you just have to go and buy a whole new pull start, and these pull starts are about £20 a piece, whereas on the 5th scale ones you can easily change the cable when it breaks. They're quite easy to change because they're a lot bigger to work on. You just undo those bolts there, take that off, undo that screw, and it's quite easy job changing the cable on the 5th scale petrol pull starts. Alright, I'm just going to turn this on now, show you how the electrics work on it, how the servos work. So you turn on your handset first, your radio, then you turn the car on. There's a switch underneath, see that's on now. See, as you turn the wheel, you see the wheels turn, you see the servo in there turning, and then you got another servo right there that operates the carburetor. See, you got a linkage and the carburetor is right there. So when I press the trigger, you see it moving, and that's what puts the fuel into the engine. And you got a brake in there, that's the brake. And also on this car, a lot of us fit what we call a kill switch. So if you lose radio signal or we press the third channel button on your handset, it will cut the engine. And that blue light is for the kill switch, the remote kill switch. So if I turn that off, see when it's blinking, that means it's killing the engine. So that'll shut the engine down in a emergency. So as you can see, that is a size comparison between the natural car and the petrol one. As you can see, they're a lot. It's a big difference. Petrol ones are a lot bigger. Now these two-stroke petrol cars, yeah, they're running petrol, but you can't just get the petrol and just pour it in just like that. What you gotta do, you have to mix the petrol with oil. Just any oil, you gotta mix it with a specialist oil for two-stroke engines that the one I got here. You can buy this in Halfords or any motorbike shop. So what you do is, this is what they call a mixing fuel bottle. You can get these in Screwfix or Toolstation. So what you do is, you fill the petrol up to that mark, the 1 litre mark, and then after the 1 litre mark, you put some oil inside it, and you fill the oil up to the 25:1 mark, and that's the correct ratio for these engines. Then you shake it up and mix it, then you pour it in. If you don't put no oil in it, your engine will just seize up. It'll work, but your oil lasts about 10 minutes and it will seize up, because these engines, they need oil to lubricate the parts inside the engine. And also, if you put too much oil inside it, it will make the spark plug gummy, and it won't run properly. So you gotta get a mixture right. Too little oil, your engine will seize up, and too much, it won't run right. So this one here, yeah, this is probably one of my favourite cars, you know, this one here. This is called the Savage Flux 2350. This thing is rapid. When people, the way this moves, when people see it, yeah, they're quite impressed. Because it's electric, people think, yeah, electric is slow compared to petrol or natural, but nah, man, this thing is rapid. This thing does standing backflips. It's got a brushless motor and it runs on lithium batteries, 4S. If I was to put a 6S in there, it'd be too much for it. It takes two 2S batteries connected in series. Yeah, this is a 1/8 scale monster truck, this one. And it's strong as well, this one never lets me down, man. I bought this 2011, I bought this. I bought it as a birthday gift to myself. It wasn't cheap though, this was £350 this was. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but think about it, yeah. What gadget can you say you bought in 2011 that you still use till this day? Just think about that. I've had this all these years and I'm still using it, man. It still gives me joy and pleasure. So in my eyes, money worth spent. This electric car here is on a completely different level to that first electric one that I showed you. Because that electric one, yeah, that's more, I'd say that's more for kids, that one, yeah. But this thing here, nah, I wouldn't recommend this for kids. This has got some serious power, this. It's a serious bit of kit, this. Completely different level. Yeah, that's the thing, yeah, people will call these things toys. These things, but yeah, they're toys in a way, but I call them big boys toys. Because like this and that petrol one up there, you wouldn't buy that for a child. These things can cause a lot of damage. I've seen one of these, yeah, hit a guy's foot and he was limping for the whole day. So if you want to buy one of these cars for a child, I recommend buying them like something like this, a kit, a Tamiya kit, because it's still more powerful than like a toy grade car. It's not as powerful as like these two, but you know, if you buy them a kit, they can build it. You know, they might learn something as well, man. It's good for them. You know, it'd be good for them to build it themselves. They can learn how to use tools and that. So yeah, if you want to buy a kid one, I recommend start off by buying them something like this. That's a good starting point in that. And as you can see, the top of that is dusty. Because this one, I just put this in the mountain piece nowadays. This stays on my shelf, right top of the shelf, on the mountain piece. I don't really use this one that much, because I got these more powerful ones here. Well, this is what I started out with, as I said before. Just stays in the mantelpiece now, on display. As you can see, it hasn't been used in a long time. Look at the dust in it. It sits on top of the shelf now. So on this car, you have two battery compartments, because it takes two batteries, two 2S batteries or two 3S batteries. So you got one battery compartment there, and you got another one on the other side as well. I guess it distributes the weight, it keeps it even, having two on either side. So with the electric models, you got two different systems. You got brushed and you got brushless. This one is what you call a brushless system. Brushless is a lot more powerful than brushed. Newer technology, as you can see there, that's what they call a brushless motor. Brushless. And you got three cables coming out of the motor into the ESC, which stands for electronic speed controller. That's what that thing is there. And there's the receiver I was talking about earlier. See, the electronic speed controller plugs into channel 2, and the servo for the steering, as you can see, plugs into channel 1. The yellow car I first showed you runs on these batteries. This is called a nickel metal hydride battery, and this battery is 7.2 volts. These batteries, they're quite cheap really, and you haven't really got to worry about them really. They're quite simple to use, these batteries. But these batteries are sort of like, it's becoming like old technology now. But these two here are lithium batteries. These two, lithium polymer to be exact. For short, they call them LiPos. And these batteries is the same voltage as this one, but these batteries have got a higher capacity. I don't know if you can see that there. 5,000 mAh. Don't know if you can see that. And this one here is 2,000 mAh. What it is, the bigger that number there, the longer the battery will last. If you look at it, both these batteries are more or less the same size, and this one is more than double this battery. So this battery will last twice as long as this one. The reason why, because it's lithium. Lithium is new technology when it comes to batteries. But the only problem with these ones is that if you go below 3 volt per cell, the battery's damaged. It's no good. These batteries cost a lot more, but these batteries give out a lot more power. Now the last car I just showed you, a monster truck, the Savage, that's what that runs on. It runs on two of these. And the thing about lithium batteries, they can be quite dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Because if you go below 3 volt per cell, the battery will puff up and they can catch on fire. It can catch on fire, and plus, if you discharge too much current, they can puff up, catch on fire as well. Also, they use a specialist charger. You can't just use any old charger. It's got to be a charger for lithium batteries. So this battery, they call this a 2S battery because it's got 2 cells inside it, and each cell is 3.7 volts. So 3.7 times 2, that's 7.4 volt. And these batteries go all the way up to 6S. And I think 6S is about 22 volts, I think that is. I must double check. The brushless motor, that's what gives this car, its power. Because brushless motors are a lot more powerful. Whereas this one there, that's got a brushed motor. Brushed motors are not as powerful. As you can see, I don't know if you can see out there, the brushed motor has got 2 cables coming out of it, whereas the brushless one's got 3 cables coming out of the motor. There's a lot of science, there's more science to how these motors work, but I'm not going to go into that right now. That's a whole other subject there. And the motors come in different sizes too, and different power levels as well. The same with the electronic speed controllers. They come in different amperages. The higher the amperage, the more power it can send out to the motors. So that is why I would recommend, if you're buying for a child, you buy this one for a child and not that electric one up there. Because of these batteries and because of the power this one gives out, it's not really for a child. That can cause some damage, even though it's electric. I like what I'm saying with the batteries, because that car up there, you can't really run that car on these. It needs more power than that. And like what I said, these batteries can be dangerous. These lithium batteries have been known to burn down people's houses, because people can be a bit careless with them. The way you treat these, you've got to treat these different to these. You've got to treat these with more care. I've heard some people talking about using not using a lithium charger, using a charger that's made for these to charge these batteries because they're trying to save some money. Now I wouldn't recommend it, man, because as I said, these have been known to burn down people's houses. If you're going to go the lithium way and get one of these high powered ones, you got to make sure you buy a proper charger. You don't want your house burning down. Yeah, lithium is like the in thing now, because everything's gone lithium, from power tools to mobile phones, and to those you know, those scooter things the kids have got now with the 2 wheels and the stand that moves. They run on lithium batteries as well. And that is why, yeah, there's been like so many fires. Like, don't even notice mobile phones exploding. And the same thing those scooter things I was talking about, they've been known to catch on fire as well. Because what it is, people don't know how to handle lithium batteries. So what happens, those scooter things I was just talking about, after the kids finish using them, straight away from when they finish using them, they'll put it on charge. But with lithium batteries, after using them, you're meant to let them cool down first. Then once they cool down, then you charge it. And that's one of the reasons why lithium batteries are known to catch on fire. Because people just don't know how to handle them. And I think mobile phones as well, like, someone could be on the phone for 2 hours. The phone could be boiling hot. Then they'll go and put the phone on charge. Then the battery puffs up and it catches on fire. That's what it is, basically, just a lack of understanding with lithium batteries. Just like these, after I finish running my car, I let them cool down first for about half an hour, then I charge them. That's how you handle lithium batteries. Well, as I said, not everyone understands that. People treat lithium batteries like they will treat these batteries. As I said, these batteries are a lot safer for kids to handle. Like what I said, these will give out a lot more power, but they can be quite dangerous if you don't know what you're doing with them. If you don't believe me, just go on YouTube or go on the internet and just type in LiPo fire or lithium fires. You'll see loads of things about them catching on fire. So here's my charger, my lithium charger, to charge my lithium batteries. And this charger will charge 4 batteries at the same time. But also this charger will charge other types of batteries as well. Lead acid, NiCad, nickel metal hydrate, and also lithium ion as well. Batteries too. So it's more like a multi-use charger. I've had this for a couple of years now, a good couple of years, still going strong. As you can see, I've got 2 batteries in charge at the moment. Okay, we're on to radios now. These are 2 types of radios you will see in this hobby. You got the old stick type. Well, these are not really old, you can still buy these, but not as common as these ones. So that's your speed there, and that's your direction. Yeah, channel 1 is for steering, and channel 2 is for your up and down, back and forth. And this is your stick type. This is like the most common type now. You got your steering there, then you got your throttle, back and forth. And also, these are 2 different systems as well. This radio here is runs on 27 megahertz system, and this radio, as you can see, runs on the 2.4 gigahertz system. 2.4 is basically newer technology, new radio technology for RC cars. The 27 is older technology. As you can see, with the 27 megahertz system, you got to pull an aerial, and the aerial's got to be pulled out for it to work properly. See that there? If that aerial's not pulled out all the way, you're not going to get a very good signal, and you're going to come to issues. But with the 2.4 gigahertz system, you've only got a small aerial. I don't know why, but with this technology, it only requires a small aerial. So these are known as the transmitters, and they call this the TX. And then you got the receivers for the other end that go inside the car itself. So this one's for the 27 megahertz radio, and this one's for a 2.4 gigahertz radio. And they call these RX, that's what they call them, RX. That's the short name for it. Yeah, with the 27 megahertz radio, oh yeah, I forgot to say, 27 megahertz AM. These run on the AM frequency, AM. Because you got AM and you got FM, but these run AM. And also the helicopters, but I'm not into helicopters. Helicopters, they run on, I can't remember, but I think it's 40 megahertz. I've got to double check helicopters. Helicopters run on the same technology as this, but a different frequency. But with these, with this AM radio, they got what they call crystals inside them. See, there's one there. See that thing there? It comes out. And you got one in there as well, in the receiver end. See, it pulls out. These things here are called crystals. And what they do is they change the frequency. So they're still 27 megahertz, but they're like 27.145. And they come in different colors as well. Because what it is, the reason why this matters, what it is, when you're racing with other people, especially if you're racing on the track, everyone must be in a different frequency. You can't have someone on the same color. If somebody's on the same color as you, same frequency, then you're going to have interference problems, interference issues. Especially when I used to go to Crystal Palace, they used to have this thing called a frequency board, a frequency crystal board. So everyone that's racing the track, they'll write down their color code of what crystal they're running, and also they'll write down the frequency number as well, so you can check to see if your crystal is different to everyone else's. So if you're running the same crystal, you're going to come to problems. Your transmitter is going to end up controlling someone else's car. See, they can come out, you can change them. As I said, they call these crystals, these things, to change the frequency. But with these new radios, these 2.4 gigahertz ones, there's no crystal to worry about. You haven't got to worry about crystals, because it creates its own unique channel with its receiver, so you won't get no interference. So with these ones, we ain't got to worry about that. But when I got into the hobby back in 2010, I think these radios just come out. So the first two RC cars I bought, they still came with these AM radios. But now, whatever brand new car you come with now, I don't think you can get a brand new car with an old AM 27 megahertz radio. They all come with these now, 2.4 gigahertz. So you ain't got to worry about no changing crystals and all that, if you're running in a big group of people. So I don't know if you can see that there. On this 2.4 gigahertz radio, it's a 3-channel radio. You got a third channel. You got a third channel up there, a switch up there. So that can be used to control lights, so I don't know, something else. Maybe a remote kill switch, whatever. So to hook this up, I'm going to show you how you hook it up. You got 2 servos there. So just imagine one's for the throttle, the carburetor, and one's for the steering. So what you do, if it's a petrol car, you've got a port at the top, and that port's to plug in the battery. But we ain't got a battery right now, so forget that. So imagine this is the throttle servo. That'll plug in the bottom one. Actually, I mean the top, for channel 2. Then say this is for the steering, this servo here. You plug it in channel number 1. That's how you hook it up. But if you're running an electric car, the electric car's got a thing called the ESC. It stands for electronic speed controller, and that'll plug into channel 2. And if you've got an electric car, you haven't got to worry about plugging the battery, because it uses the power from the speed controller to power the steering servo. But if you're running a natural or petrol car, you got to plug in the battery in the top there to power your servos. Right on the top there, you got a battery port. Don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, so yeah, I think I'm probably done now. Yeah, so obviously when you get into this hobby, you're gonna need to get some tools for when they go wrong. So look, I've got a socket set there, and you're definitely gonna need some Allen keys. I like to use these little drivers here. I just stick it in like a handle, or you can put it in the drill to speed things up. And I've got some more there as well. So a lot of the bolts on these they use the hex, those hex Allen key bolts, whatever you want to call them. Also got a Dremel, that's how you tool have to have as well, a Dremel. Well, it's not a Dremel, that's the one for Machine Mart, the cheaper one. It's actually better than the Dremel. I've had 2 Dremels here and they're both burnt out in less than a year. So I'll never buy a Dremel again, never. I've had this one for about 2 or 3 years now, still going, Machine Mart. Still going strong. Yeah, so this is not a cheap hobby. This hobby just costs money. But it's like anything really, anything that you're into is going to cost money, you know. Everyone's got their thing that they're into, whether you like to sniff things up your nose, whether you like to smoke certain things, whether you like to go out to a restaurant and pay £100 for, you know, a big plate of a small bit of chicken breast on it. You know, everyone's got their thing that they're into, I guess. Whatever you're into, I guess, costs money. Whether you're into football and you gotta buy season tickets and that, you might be into fashion, paying that £400 for a pair of shoes. Yeah, man, everyone's got their thing that they're into, you know. Everything costs money. No matter what you're into, everyone's got their hobby. Yeah, some people take this hobby more serious than others. I don't take this hobby as serious as some people that I know. I just do it for a bit of fun, really. But some people, they take things to the next level. They get like big boy engines from Italy that cost like £1,500, but I don't go that far. Nah, I don't go that far. But this is a good hobby to get into, you know. You meet all different types of people, you know. Even if you've got a kid as well, it's good to get a kid into this hobby as well, you know. Keep the kids off the street. Occupy their mind with something, innit? Yeah, as you might notice, all my cars are all off-roaders. A lot of people tell me, why don't you get a Subaru or this and that? The reason why I don't like the on-road cars is because you're very limited to where you can run them. Basically, the on-road cars, you can only run them on a flat surface, in the car park or on the track. Whereas these, yeah, I can take these anywhere. I can take them off-road. I can run these things anywhere. They're very versatile. So that's why I don't run no on-road cars. All my cars are all off-roaders. I can take them anywhere. So I think that's it, man. I think I covered most things for anyone that's looking to get into the hobby or interested. So if there's anything you want to know, just let me know, man. If I can answer your question, I'll answer it for you.